So the question is, what are you optimizing for? What are you optimizing for in your businesses right now? Who's optimizing for more revenue? Who's optimizing for more profit? It's the difference, right? Only a couple of you, okay, so some of you are growing. All right, who's optimizing for time, either your own time or your staff's time? Yeah, nice one, that's increasing, okay. Who's optimizing for retention? You keep losing staff members and you need to keep them. No one, okay, everyone's happy, all right. And the last one, if someone's brave enough to put their hand up, who's optimizing for an exit or evaluation? Okay, oh, but that's brave of you, particularly if you've got staff in the room. All right, so I'm in... Really? Thanks for telling me, man. So there's a surprise. And that's all I have, so enjoy the rest of your day. All right, let's see if this works. All right, okay, here we go. These are the 4 things that we've seen over the last 15 years, okay? Number 1 is discipline. Number 2 is delegation. Number 3 is technology. And number 4 is labor leverage. Right. So these are the 4 things that leaders try to do in mortgage broking, in financial services, and in discipline. I'm going to do more, I'm going to do better, I'm going to do harder, I'm going to optimize myself, I'm going to chunk my day, I'm going to get up at 5. It's not that they're wrong, it's that the order in which you do it is wrong, because they're all assuming that the structure of your company, and if you don't have a company, the structure of you, of what you do, you're assuming it's right. Discipline assumes your role and your people's role is right. Delegation, technology, labor leverage, it all assumes that what you do on a daily basis and what your staff do on a daily basis is right. But just because you give someone accountability doesn't mean they have the capacity to do it. So most businesses have a workforce design problem, and I'll speak a lot today about the fact you can't delegate chaos. If you try to have more discipline into an organization that's not structured right, it breaks. If you try to delegate tasks into a structure that's broken, it breaks. It keeps going. AI, I'll talk about this a lot today. AI is a force multiplier. You guys deal in money, you guys deal in debt. You know what it's like. People borrow money for a property, for shares, for crypto, and the decision is right. Life is good. The decision is wrong. You go bankrupt quickly. It's a force multiplier, same with AI. So you can't delegate into chaos. So what if the role is wrong? What if the role is wrong? 16 years ago, I'm going to take you back to a place called Brisbane, Australia. Right? We had 3-story offices, we had 120 staff. We owned one of the largest registered training organisations in Australia. We also trained in mortgage broking qualifications. We trained Certificate 1, Certificate 2, Certificate 3, Certificate 4, and Diploma in mortgage broking. All right. One night, 6 p.m, one night, everyone's gone. Ruben and I are the last ones there, and I hear this, "Ricey, get in here." Now, for those of you that have met Ruben, you'll know he's quite calm, he's quite pragmatic. I'm the emotional one, all right? I knew something was wrong. I go into the office and I see this face. He is completely ashen grey, all right? And he's about to tell me something that changed our life, and I believe it will change some of your lives forever. Because he said, "Hey, I'm looking through a newsletter by the governing body, just like you guys, very regulated industries, all right? Mortgage broking, vocational training, very regulated." And he's looking through it and he sees this newsletter and there's something innocuous down there, a little line on there. And he goes, "Oh, it's something about funding." And he thinks we're going to get a CPI increase. This is what he tells me. And what he saw was that we were about to get our funding, our revenue, up by 70%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if your money, your income got cut by 70%, not good, is it? Because in that moment, we looked at each other and we knew we were going bankrupt. because we were innovative. We were a really, really innovative company, exceptionally innovative. We optimized for the wrong thing. So in that moment, we knew we were going bankrupt, but we weren't prepared for it to happen. So our jaw was off the ground. We decided we weren't going to let this kill us. So we decided to go home, take 2 days each, and come up with every idea we possibly could to save the company. And we came back, and you know there's one thing you can do with your P&L to make it profitable. Line item on your P&L is people. So we knew we had to do something there. Now, some of this is common now. A lot of you know what we do now. So you know this, you're exposed to it. But 16, 15 years ago, we were not exposed to the concept of offshoring or outsourcing. The only people doing it were call centers and through banking and through telecommunications. So we decided to look everywhere. We decided to look in India, we decided to look in Fiji, we decided to look in Vietnam, South America, Latin America, etc. And we ended up landing on the Philippines. We moved Ruben over there, him and his family moved there. I was going over there week in, week out, month in, month out, sleeping on floors, begging for the Australian ambassador to the Philippines to have a meeting with me to see if we could become a Filipino company, because we needed to figure out a way to save our company. We sold everything we had, sold the houses, sold the cars, sold our offices in Australia, leased them, kept them, because we're trying to save the company, remember. We then went and bought commercial property in the Philippines. And 13 weeks after that announcement, this is us standing in Quezon City in Manila in the Philippines with a handful of our first 35 staff. You can see me up the back there. I had short hair, I wasn't as great, had my arms around. Ruben's in the white shirt there, some of you are thinking last time. 13 weeks, we took massive action. Now here's the first thing I want to start teaching you, all right? Is 4 weeks after Ruben calls me in his office again in the Philippines, in Manila, and he goes, hey, look at this. And I'm looking at it. And he's the numbers guy. And he showed me that we had our most profitable month ever. Now let this land. I'm serious now. 70% of your revenue has been lost, and you had your most profitable month ever. And we recognized that after 1 year, that profit equated to $2.14 million. Because here's the thing, we didn't sell more, we didn't do more, we re-engineered what we already had, and therein lies the secret, okay? I've been brought here to show you how to re-engineer workforces, because that was what we did in the Australian mortgage broking business. So we saved that company, as you can tell, that was the end of that story, and we knew we had to help leaders and entrepreneurs do what we did. You don't have a labour cost problem, you don't have a profit problem, you don't have a scaling problem, you don't have a staff retention problem. You've got the fact they're leaving you if they're leaving you because you haven't designed your workforce right, okay? So these optimizations only work when you re-engineer first. They are all okay, just re-engineer first. They're force multipliers. Try to do any of them without redesigning the way work gets done by you and by your people, and you are going to compound inefficiency. So, I like to think of a lot of stories and a lot of examples to help with the nuanced people after interviewing a number of you coming into here. Because as I said, we've got people that are very financially well off. We've got some people that are pretending to be very financially well off. We've got some people that tell me they're struggling, but in public they're going to say they're doing okay. We've got some solos, we've got some medium business, we've got large businesses, we've got some people that aren't in mortgage broking, they're in development, they're in legal, etc. But every example I'm going to give you today, I want you to see yourself in them, because I've curated them, okay, to make sure that you'll see yourself in it no matter what size these are. And think of what your company and your work looks like. And these are practical examples, and then I'm going to give you the principles And then I'm going to show you some of the tools that we've created over the last 15 years. All right. So in Australia, as I said, we had the front row seat because we created PeoplePartners. We taught mortgage broking. We knew the tailwinds were behind us, but we knew they couldn't keep up with normal workforce design. Unless you add massive value to your customers and clients, you're not going to do well. But I'll tell you, this is interesting. Because of the tailwinds, as I said, 10 to 15 properties between Ruben and I, it's not even a strategy, you just get them in Australia. We don't get them. You don't work hard for them. They don't give it to you. They do in Dubai though, if you're an Emirati, just out of in case you want to know. Yeah, as a resident, I can't. But anyway, I digress. So, what was I saying? Point was, that's it. So, what we did is that we understood that design had to change, all right? That was the front row seat we had to have. And whether it be mortgage broking companies or even some of the large fintechs, we were able to recognize with a lot of the other platforms, the CRMs, etc., that companies needed to build and scale. So we built one of the largest, well, we didn't, but we were responsible as the workforce partner for building one of the largest fintechs in Australia from purchased by one of the aggregators. But again, it was only through workforce design. So let's see if you can get some practical lessons here. So the solo broker, this might be also you if you're the CEO. This is what we see. This is the evidence. Different constraints, different sized businesses, all right? At this stage in your career, again, as a solo broker, a solo agent, someone working for yourself inside a structure, or as a CEO, you want to optimize for time and money. But the design flaw is an overloaded role. All right. 2 years ago, I'm at an awards ceremony at the Better Business Summit in Melbourne. F1's in Melbourne, the Australian Open Tennis is in Melbourne. That's the stage I'm now talking about, not the Louis City. All right. I'm on stage. I had short hair. If you ever see that video clip, telling stories, doing what I do, teaching. Not as sophisticated as some of the stuff I'm showing you today, but nonetheless, I get off this stage, and a broker comes up to me, and he goes, "All right. Everyone's using PeoplePartners." He literally did this was him. So you probably already imagined what the guy looks like there, right? Okay. Everyone's using PeoplePartners. I guess it's about time I do too. I think I need a VA. Because I heard what you said. I'm like, actually, you didn't hear what I said, because I would never say that anyone needed a VA, because I hate that term. We're all virtual and it's ridiculous. But this is the mistake. And all of you are either making it onshore or you're making it offshore right now. So this is what he said. All right. I want them to be a loan processor. Is that all right? He goes, I want them to be a credit analyst. Okay. Then he goes, you know, I really like the story about that client that you had that was using it for kids' sport and shopping. Let's do that too. All right. He goes, you know what else would be good? If they're on a computer, they could probably do my emails. And if they're doing that, they could probably do web chat. And if they're doing that, because they're on the computer, right, then they could also fix my computer. And if they're fixing my computer, you know, I'm going to take on some staff soon, they could probably fix their computer. And I'm hearing someone talk about AI. They can do AI, They could do AI. And if they're doing all of that, they could probably do my marketing. They could probably do, what's this? People are speaking about SEO, right? They could do that. They could do blogs, they could do my videos. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop you there, okay? Because this is what this guy is after. You are not talking about one person. You are talking about 10 people. The overloaded role for yourself or for your staff is why if you try to introduce one of these, they will fail. Everyone has a different strength and passion zone. And I'm going to give you some criteria towards the end today where I want you to start thinking of what your and your staff's strength and passion zones are, and whether you are looking at $6 an hour tasks, $20 an hour tasks, $100 an hour tasks, or $500 an hour tasks. All right? So we had to start somewhere. I use this guy as a joke. He's now one of my favorite clients. I love this guy. We had to start somewhere, but we treated him like a little kindergarten. Okay, we had to get his thinking straight. So if any of you know what EOS is, it's a business structure that companies run on. We use the concept of delegate and elevate. We said, all right, let's start out with what you love to do and are great at, what you don't like to do, what you're bad at, etc. This was the borderline of his 97-point list. And as you can see, love the face-to-face work, just like most brokers, love building relationships, hated loan processing, fulfillment, and compliance. So for those of you that are detailed in the room, I'm not going to read through them, take a photo of this, but this was his reality, all right? We had to baby step him through, just like we do with a lot of clients, and just like we do with a lot of you. But the mission was to identify what did he want to do, and where did he first best start getting some leverage, all right? So we chose a bit of a mortgage broker assistant role. We broke them into tasks, and then of course you can see those results. Absolutely game changing for him. And then we moved on after he got momentum, after he got scale, after the profits started flooding in through leveraging the right way, then we started looking at those other tasks. His next role was an EA. His role after that was a social media marketing person. So that's what we did. All right, this is going to relate to most of you in the room. The small firm, all right? 3 to 5 to 10 staff or 3 to 10 brokers, all right? Now at this stage, people and companies want to optimize for time, money, but staff fulfillment. I didn't actually have anyone in here put their hand up to say that staff retention is a problem. But either you're lying or I don't have business people in the room, because it is a problem. You do, as an industry, have a problem with mortgage brokers and agents leaving you to start their own shop, okay? I know this. And they do that not because they're not happy, they do it because they're not fulfilled. So at this stage in your career, in your business, you need to start thinking, if you are one of those brokers inside this firm, please hear what I'm about to show you, because this is how, particularly if you are working for someone but for yourself in that structure, this is where you need to start putting your hand up and go, this is how I need to be designed. All right. So, typical story, a visionary mortgage broker, great guy, killing it by himself as a solo broker, decides to duplicate himself, like we all do as leaders and entrepreneurs. We start by ourselves, we start in a garage, we go, I can do it, I'm gonna find another one. And we do it in any business. As a broker, we go, I'm a broker, I'm gonna get another broker, and another broker, and another broker, all right? If you have admin staff, I've got an admin person, I'm busy, I'm going to get another admin staff, I'm going to get another admin staff, and you try to duplicate it. Roles are hard, roles are complex, roles are very difficult to train. So anyway, this visionary broker, this is what he did. He kept trying, he loved his groups of 3 to 5. He'd start them, they would either fail, or they would get some level of success. They would go, this is too hard, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to do the same thing. And it kept going over and over. And again, you can see what the detail of the case study is here at the bottom, okay? So what we did with this particular group was here, the concept of segmentation, not duplication. Now, you can see the roles that we created: database manager, backbooks, accounts receivable and payable, loan processing, underwriting support. You can see the way we structured that work for them, and noticing what the brokers did with their time. Here's another point. Any face-to-face role that you employ needs to be segmented. Whether it's a mortgage broker, a business broker, a real estate agent, whether it's a BDM or a sales rep, no matter how you structure your business, fintechs that go out and sell the SaaS product, it doesn't matter. If your face-to-face salespeople are writing emails, they're doing compliance work, they're typing in a CRM or a platform, or they're doing proposals or any level of admin, stop that. Stop it. The number one thing I can tell you in this room is to have yourself and your staff work in your strength and passion zones. Alright? Mortgage brokers as a rule, and I know thousands of them, and hundreds of them are our clients. I can think of one in 15 years that when we've segmented their business, they wanted to keep compliance. Alright. A big thing that has been part of the promotion of this event was for those of you that need or want to work towards an exit. Bottom right hand corner, buyers don't buy brokers, they buy execution systems. Alright? The difference between being busy, doing lots and lots of volume, and not making profit. So here's an example of that business before. So that business I showed you, this was the impact on their valuation. As we use AI in our company, as we train our staff and your staff in AI before they're let loose with you, this is the formula. Whether you do anything with us or not, this is your formula. So here we go. Strategy must be done by your onshore workforces or face-to-face work. Face-to-face leaders, $500 an hour strategic work, that's done onshore. Offshore is delivery, okay? Your operations, process-driven and scalable. So think $500 an hour, think $100 to $20 an hour, and then your offshore should be running your AI, your digital. But the bottom and the whole talk today has been about designing your workforce. Because if you try to use any of these levers with your onshore or your offshore or AI without getting your house in order, it's going to break. It'll continue to spin your wheels. You'll wonder where your profit's going. You wonder why people are leaving, why people aren't happy. Alright? Quick thing for the financial guys, 2 more slides and we're done. This is the reality of the principles I've shared with you. This is what you can expect. I can see photos, so I'll go to the end of the slide so you can get the full picture. Imagine most businesses, no matter what industry you're in, I picked an arbitrary figure of 700,000 in revenue. Most of you here are making millions and millions in revenue. Alright, principles remain the same. It'll take you 500,000 in labour, 500,000 in wages to make that. You re-engineer, you can expect through good workforce design for this percentage. You then supercharge it with the force multiplier of offshore staff and AI, of course, and you can expect that reduction. We're talking about still making the same revenue, whether it be 700,000, whether it be 1.5 million, whether it be 7 million, doesn't really matter. But look at that reduction in labour, which is where your profit is. And it's where your happiness is. And it's where your staff's happiness is. Alright? Be wealthy. Make everyone happy. Good deal, right? Alright. So, in summary, optimize the right thing, don't optimize the wrong thing.